half-assed. I'm using the phone now.
What's that?
I'm just talking to my lady.
All right.
They're doing like sound checks.
We're
I got
going
that
live right
hooked
now.
up, but it was fucking. So I still got to mess with it.
Ultra Kayfabe Girlfriend Edition here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman. Hugs and kisses from the missus as we check in. Starting to go live, zoom.us, saying what's up to everybody. Back again after your Friday Ultra Kayfabe declassified, oh, I'm hungry, locker room edition with Big Stevie Cool. I'm back with another vet here, Big Susio, a.k.a. Chris Silvio, and my man, the shotgun, hand on the pump, left hand on the 40, puffing on a blunt, Matt 12 Gage Schaffer. What's going on, man? How are you, brothers? Good to have you back.
Ooh, yeah. What's up, boys?
I am swell. Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah, that's the face of
Well,
tech, the AKA my man 12 Gage, AKA Tech Rage. That's what we're gonna call him today. not Tech 9, but he'll trash the studio, and when you got no Wi-Fi signal in the audio, that's nothing more frustrating when you're a digital producer than getting shut down by the great and evil Spectrum or whatever the fuck, RCN, Comcast, whatever cocksuckers run your internet and charge you way too much for shit services, man. So hacker hopped out of Planet Shit List, and you should have seen it. It was day one. All the fat grandmas with cottage cheese asses on the ellipticals, buckets of sweat pouring out of them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
dude.
Yeah.
So we'll see 3 weeks from now which ones make it, who's dead or alive. And we'll be back on it. I'm going to do double sessions today. No problem to come back and host two of my favorites here with Susio, El Susio to me, and MSG, man. So it's Light the Fuse, guys. I got to lay out on a lot of stuff. I can give my opinions. I only watched about 15 minutes of the show, but happy to catch up with you and sit in the locker room with you guys.
Yeah, we'll walk through this one. MSG is going to be taking the lead here. Shit, man. This show has been kind of snake bitten with tech. It seems like the world has not wanted to hear our Dynamite review for this week, but fuck them, we're still coming with it anyway.
You could say the same thing about Dynamite itself.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll dive into that a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
MSG, are you alive over there, brother? I know you've been going through it this morning.
I am, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Light the Fusion. I'm your host with the most, who lives on the West Coast, your boy, MSG. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Matthew_Schaffer. Yes, a litany of technical difficulties this morning. I'm at my folks' house here for the weekend, and I had to come in and register for my final quarter. So that was a whole kerfuffle of going down to the campus and them having a block on my account when there didn't need to be a block. So I walked in like a G and I was like, yo, remove the block. They looked at my account and they were like, oh, you're right. There shouldn't be a block on here. I was like, thank you for wasting my time. So I come back up here, I get ready to go on the internet, log into the computer. I can't even get into my computer. So, I can't really do the recording at my parents' house right now because I'm not going to sit in the living room and, talk about AEW Dynamite in front of them because they're not going to know what the hell is going on. But I am here. I'm on campus, hot spot, ready to go. AEW was hot tonight. For the most part, I thought there was some good stuff there. There's a lot of wrestling for sure. They definitely, I think, doubled down on catering to their audience this evening with a lot of professional wrestling. They did mix in, some vignettes and backstage spots to try to, I think, move along forward as far as the top storylines, if you will. But definitely a lot of wrestling here. To get into it, though, let's talk about AEW viewership from the last time they were on the air. And that was, I believe it was December the 18th, 2019. They had 683,000 viewers for that week. Their key demo competition coming in tonight was the Northwestern Mutual Rose Bowl with the Oregon Ducks taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. The All-State Sugar Bowl with Georgia Bulldogs taking on the Baylor Bears, which is kind of funny if you think about it because Tony Schiavone was going directly against AEW tonight doing radio for Georgia. So that's a story in itself. AEW Dynamite YouTube viewership, though, from the previous show was up 100,000 views for a total of 902,000 views. So number-wise here, they had football going in tonight, but I thought that they came out hot. You had Cody taking on Darby Allen. The venue looked really good, so it looked like they were at least able to fill out the crowd itself tonight with maybe a smaller venue. I know they've used this venue before for Fighter Fest. Mr. Silvio, what do you think as far as visually, as far as, how AEW started off tonight?
It looked cool. I will agree with you. I thought it was a hot show. I thought overall it was a great show. it wasn't anything like it wasn't like a world changing moment that you're going to remember 20 years from now, but it was a just solid, good wrestling show, top to bottom, that built. And I actually had to go through hell or high water to watch the damn thing. Same way you're having your tech woes this morning. I started using Sling TV as my cable provider. So I couldn't catch it live, but I caught the last 30 minutes. So after I watched the last 30 minutes, I went to rewind it. Couldn't watch any of it. So I had to get the brothers to send me some kayfabe links. I literally used 3 different links in order to watch the show from 3 completely different providers. But I did see, remember how last week I was bitching about the picture in picture? I saw 3 different versions. One had no picture in picture. So it was all the way through and it sounded pretty awesome. And then a kayfabe of the most kayfabe version, I saw one that I don't even know how this motherfucker got out, but you could hear Jim Ross and Excalibur like between takes telling their notes and talking to the production truck.
Mm-hmm.
And there were like moments on end where it was dark and you'd hear Justin Roberts like fucking around with the crowd. So as much as I bitched about the PMP last week, my woes to watch it this week, I saw literally like pretty much every version of Dynamite being produced at the moment.
Yeah, that was definitely the I believe the UK and the Canadian version, their Fight TV feed. During that feed itself, they don't get commercial breaks. So like that's why you're getting kind of that backstage look as far as what's going on, hearing the producer, the director talking back and forth, them kind of talking through the picture-in-picture aspect during their commercial breaks. I was watching on TNT, right? So like, 'cause I'm at my folks' house and they have the DVR system. So I recorded it. I watched it. I thought they did what?
Nothing.
I thought they did some good stuff here with the picture-in-picture tonight. There was at one point they went to picture-in-picture when MJF came out. And he was in the middle of the ring while they're in commercial, and he was like doing stuff with hands, which I thought was cool. So didn't detract away from the segment. Sammy Guevara held up cue cards. I don't know if you saw that in your feed, where he held up cue cards saying, here's what's going on. We're in the middle, coming up next. You can follow me on Instagram. I thought that was like really choice of them to do that. That was like being cognizant.
That's great.
With the timings of what they were.
It was phenomenal.
So I thought they did.
It was beyond great. It was phenomenal because it went right to their detractors of them saying, all right, we understand we're trying to get this right. Let's even do something creative inside these breaks. You know what I mean? After everyone was like, dude, they're pitching to these things at the wrong time. Now they're like, all right, let's pitch to them, but let's make the most of them. The sign thing was excellent to boost him up. I would have gone even more heel with it, though. He should have said, how old is he, 21?
Yeah, 21, 22,
whatever. I'm 22 years old and I'm on TV, and he throws a sign, and you're not, because you're a fat loser sitting at home.
Right.
Like they could have just, like, you don't need to like have specific message, which they kind of did. Like it was planned out on a timing where someone's like, we're coming back, get to the last card. It should just be a nonstop litany of insults to people at home why he's more over and they're just a piece of shit and they'll never be him, dude. Like that should be. I would intro him and go to commercial every time and make that his thing from now on, dude. Like it worked so well. It worked phenomenally.
I agree with you. I got to see the deluxe ultra kayfabe version of that. So the version I saw from whatever random fucking stream I was tuned into had the announcers like talking about what he was doing, and it was full screen. So you got the best of both worlds.
Really?
So I wasn't sure if it was a promo or if it was picture in picture. Now you telling me that it was PMP, that's fucking great.
Yep.
And I thought Sammy stole the show last night. I was not sold on him right away, but just seeing him under Jericho's wing, Sammy Guevara is fucking great. He popped me hard last night with those posters and just his antics throughout the night and his work with Dustin, which we'll talk about. But yeah, Sammy's the man.
Yeah, overall itself, I appreciated the fact that the AEW tonight was more cognizant. That was something that at least they addressed over the last 2 weeks. They, what are we doing wrong? What can we at least fix right away? They definitely got their commercial breaks down for me personally, me watching the show. There was, at least when they were in the middle of commercial breaks, it never felt like I was necessarily missing things. Even in the big match with Cody and Darby, which we'll talk about right now to get started, they went to a commercial break and there was still action going on, but it wasn't like, okay, like I'm missing something like so amazing and shocking that it's taking away and killing my suspense of disbelief as far as the match itself. The match starts off with Cody coming out with his brand new manager, Arn Anderson. This was announced on social media over the last couple of days and through their press release and digital media outlets. What do you think? I know what Ben thinks, and we'll get to him, but what do you think about putting Arn Anderson with Cody, Mr. Silvio?
I thought it was a cool little touch, just the way they did the press release on it to make it kind of have that sports feel of him hiring a coach. So I like that. Visually, I don't know what exactly to do, but visually I would dress Arn differently. He just didn't look visually to fit in with Cody. I love the idea and the pairing, and you got to think it's working of something down the line with that's going to involve Tully and Sean Spears. But I like the idea of making it real like that, like having a Bill Belichick, somebody like that as a head coach. So we'll see where it goes. But no, I dig the idea. Thought it was cool.
So I brought up to Ben, could we possibly see now Sean Spears? He's looking for that tag team partner. He's got Tully Blanchard. Could we possibly see him looking to pair up? And Ben, of course, replied, well, they should have done that from day one.
Yeah. I mean, Susio and I watched this live. I've talked about it as one of my favorite feuds of all time, Spears Rhodes in OVW, because we knew how close they are and tell it. And now you can tell it 15 years down the road. We're one guy because of not just nepotism, but because of legacy of his family and his having respect for his buddy and a lot of things that could have gone in along the way, right? And even make not light, but showcase some truth that Spears is married to one of the Iconics. And that's a point of contention, right? Like some weird stuff. And let this breakup happen again where Spears really does turn heel. What was Arn wearing? Was he just in his normal polo shirt? Is that what he had on or no?
No, he looked like he had some kind of vest on, like a dress vest.
Okay.
I want to say over like a shirt and tie and something that said AEW, I believe it was like for all intents and purposes, a fucking sweater vest kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But it didn't look cool. I think the Nightmare character is cool. Cody looks suave. He kind of looks like Flair back in the day when he does his promos. He comes out in, the finest of clothes. But he didn't look that cool coming out with Arn. So you got to figure, and